Man, I can't wait to meet Greg in person. Oh, hold on. Is my mic on? Oh, my bad. Hold on. I didn't want Greg to hear that.
This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock, who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Postgame reviews, this the place you tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.
Knicks family, what's popping? Yes, my voice is still the same. It's still scratchy, but we're going through with it because the Knicks got to win tonight. So, I got to do what I got to do. Tony, what's popping with you, brother? How you feeling?
It was good, Sim. Heck of a win for the Knicks tonight.
Yeah.
Shout out to the chat. Yo, Black this time, man. I'm the Knicks got me on a high, man, from my birthday to now. You know what I mean? We had a little 3-game losing streak, but it's I forgot about that.
Yeah, no doubt about it, man. I mean, they started off with 13 turnovers in the first half. And I was a little bit nervous. I was like, yo, what are they doing? What's going on? Why are we turning the ball over so much? Only 2 turnovers in the second half of the game. Right? They really focused in and paid attention to taking care of the basketball, and it paid dividends. They started off the game pretty hot. They looked pretty good. Got a little testy when the Bulls, DeMar DeRozan, started showing his mid-range game, started shooting it from 3. Facilitating a little bit. And Chicago, they were up double digits at some point in the game. Right? They were up double digits. The Knicks went into the half, down 4 to the Bulls. But then second half, they just dominated the second half. Julius Randle, he went crazy in the second half. Jalen Brunson did his thing in the second half. iHeart had a tremendous basketball game. Like Julius Caesar just said, just a nice all-around win from the New York Knicks tonight. Nice all-around win. Nothing much you can complain about. They're still at that. They scored 116 points. That's my sweet spot, man. That's my sweet spot. That's the area where I think they're most effective. They play at a good pace like that. Very just a good game from the Knicks, man. They might as well go ahead and look at their box score. Julius Randle, who is playing amazing basketball. We talked about it last night on the Losers Lounge. He's playing amazing basketball. 35 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists. He had 3 turnovers in the first half, 0 turnovers in the second half. Shot 56% from the field. Shot 43% from the 3-point line. You know what I mean? That's just, he's just playing a good basketball game. Jalen Brunson, 31 points, 13 assists. What 31 points, 13 assists. What can you say?
He heard the chatter.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
He heard the chatter after the Indiana game.
Right.
And adjustment made.
Right. OG Anunoby, 11 points, 8 rebounds, 2 steals, 2 assists. Only 9 shot attempts for OG. I do want to talk about that a little bit. Right. Dante DiVincenzo, 11 points. Those are the 6 players. Well, Isaiah Hartenstein, 10 points, 20 rebounds.
Double-double. Big double-double.
Big double-double from Isaiah Hartenstein. He's and 5 blocks. I don't want to leave that out.
Career high.
You know what I mean? He's he's playing just amazing basketball. Without Mitchell Robinson being there, Hartenstein is just playing crazy basketball, man. just a great game from the Knicks. Great second half. Let me say that. A great second half from the Knicks. You know.
Sim, if I could add, I mean, the 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 first half, I mean, it was really the turnovers because we gave up, I want to say 16 points, maybe 13 to 16 points off those 13 turnovers.
Right.
Those are free baskets. You know what I mean? Those are shots or points that they shouldn't have had.
Right.
And then if you look at the numbers, we were winning the rebounding race. We were shooting the ball well. You know what I mean? Like, so that was the real catalyst in that first half. And I didn't notice, like, I didn't know it was the turnovers. I asked the same question, like, yo, why we, like, what are we doing at halftime? And then I seen the turnovers, the points off turnovers, and we're down 4. I'm like, we got this game.
Right.
You know what I mean? We
Right,
got this game.
Yeah. Well, let me just get in and ask you this. So far, OG's been playing the corner, right? I think he received a handoff once or twice today. Didn't do much with it. You know, he's not going to force anything. It's not the way he plays. Only 9 shot attempts. You know, we were talking about, well, can OG maybe raise his, points per game average to 20, 18 to 20 points per game, since he might get more attempts. So far, it doesn't look like he's going to get that many more attempts. Right? Are you concerned about that at all?
Not really. 2 reasons why. The corner is his biggest asset.
Right.
He's most dangerous with that corner 3, 44%, one of the best in the league. So utilize that to the max. Secondly, I think a lot of his points are gonna come on the break.
Right.
Backdoor cuts, you know what I mean, off the handoff. He's not, like, we knew already he's not a creator per se for himself. So I'm not really concerned with that. I think he'll get his touches within the flow of the game and off of his IQ with the backdoors and things of that nature. So not really concerned with that, because I mean, even when we heard about the trade, we all agreed we still need that one more piece. You know what I mean? And that was because we knew his offensive limitations. And it's still early, game 2. So I do think they will find wrinkles where there are some things designed for him. My last point, those handoffs that you stated he didn't do anything. Well, one of them I know it definitely led to a assist that he did create. So I think that's another element where maybe that's going to be a bigger value in his game, because he really is a high IQ guy. So he's going to make the right reads, which may lead to an assist more often than a shot for him.
Yeah. I'm not worried, because I do think they'll find some wrinkles for OG. Again, tonight, Randle took 23 shots, Brunson 22 shots. I do agree that, that's probably going to be the norm from now on. But I would like to see his attempts get up to like 14, 15 attempts a game. I think he's too efficient from the floor to not get that many attempts. You know what I mean? He's an efficient basketball player. So I think you got to take advantage of that. Now, I guess the question is, does he maintain the efficiency with more shot attempts? But I think so, because I don't think he'll be trying to go off the dribble. He's going to attack closeouts. He's going to cut to the basket. He's going to knock down open threes. I think the way to do it, to get those more attempts, is to create opportunities for him, run plays that are for him to get those attempts.
And I'll say this: two things. If Brunson is passing the way he's, been doing in the last two games, he's gonna find OG. Um, man, I lost my other point. But yeah, I think he'll get more opportunities. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. Another thing is he doesn't force shots, so his efficiency, I think, will remain the same because even if he gets more attempts, it's not gonna be. I mean, again, maybe I thought of it as a knock, but this may be an attribute that he's not gonna go shot seeking,
Right.
which will lead to forced attempts or bad
Right.
attempts. You know what
Right.
I mean?
Right.
Everything he does is kind of like it's gonna be a good shot. It's really about him making it or not.
Right.
So he'll get those again. He'll find them within the flow of the offense. The more Brunson's passing the way he's doing now, he'll find them more. Um, I think he'll be fine. I think he'll be fine.
Okay. Shout out to D Coolest. He said, Sim, the voice suits you. Sounds like a cool jazz musician. I appreciate that, but I don't want the voice to stay this way. Trust me.
That's the second time they said that too. Somebody
Yeah.
said that last time about a jazz musician.
Yeah. I don't want my voice to stay this way. I need it. Like, I got to coach a game on Friday. I have no clue what I'm gonna do if my voice isn't there. If my voice ain't back. You know what I mean? I'm gonna have to let my assistant coach do all the yelling, and I'm gonna just have to sit back and whisper in his ear, tell him what to scream out. You know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, it's just a little bit better than yesterday though. So it's getting
There's
there.
another
It's
one.
getting
It
there.
said Knicks 100 said Dak Rivers.
Doc Rivers, right? It's getting there. It's getting there. I do see now. Okay, are you concerned about things now being way more geared just to Randle and Brunson? Because with the way things are right now, those two guys, I mean, they might be averaging 27 points a game apiece.
Am I concerned? I think that is the clear direction. I think that's the clear direction, and everything else is really, or everyone else is really about utility. You know what I mean? Like that seems to be the motto. Like utility guys around these guys. These are the focal points.
Right.
I mean, even Hartenstein, in a sense, is just utility. You know what I mean? Like
So,
he's multifaceted.
okay. So are they obviously every team wants to win a championship, right? Are they, how do I want to say it? Are they thinking Randall and Brunson can get you a championship?
I
Do you
think
think that's what they're thinking?
I think I'm not saying they don't think they need another guy, but as far as they believe in these two, I think it's clear they believe in these two, and you know what I mean. They putting their money on them.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's what it looks like to me. Let me get you a phone call. Lauren, what's popping with you, brother? How you feeling?
Coach Tibbs, this you? I'm just kidding. What's good, man? You good?
I'm good.
I'm loving the voice, man. You sound like, you know what I mean? You hosting a phone line or something. Tony, how you doing? Happy New Year.
Peace,
How
family.
you like Obi so far? Not Obi, OG.
So far, so good. So far, so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. So I wanted to bring up something just from the last game and kind of transition into this game.
Okay.
Another Leon appreciation kind of conversation. First things first, the last game we played against the Bulls, I just want to point out, Karl Anthony Towns makes $20 million more than Julius Randle, right? And it cost the Wolves 6 first-round draft picks and $41 million a year for Rudy Gobert, who $9 million a year Hartenstein schooled, right? Just want to put that out there just to kind of showcase what Leon has done so far. Another thing that I realized
don't
about
drive
Leon
his price up, bro.
He is. I mean, we should have signed him for 4 years, but it is what it is. You know what I mean? Another thing I've realized is Leon is always the first domino in the trade deadline, period, because he makes like an incremental move way early. He did it with Cam Reddish. He did it with Rose. He did it last year with Hart. And now he did it with OG this year. So he goes to the party early. He does what he has to do. And then it might not be his final move, but he makes a move very, very early just to kind of set the stage.
Right.
So that's another thing. But as far as this game today, this is you just mentioned something that I want to actually focus on. You said, are they possibly trusting that Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle are basically our future? And it looks like it. And if I could go back to Tibbs in Chicago, it kind of looks like Derrick Rose, I can't remember who the power forward or the small forward was, and Noah. It looks like that combination where it's point guard heavy and then another big who's very, very dominant on the ball as well.
Luol
I don't know
Deng.
if I love it.
So you had Luol Deng was played a similar type of role that OG is playing here. You had Carlos Boozer.
Exactly. So that would be like the Julius Randle, and then Hartenstein looks like a Noah-ish kind of. He's not that ball dominant, but it's kind of in the same arena. I don't know if I love it that much because it goes back to that $50 million max player Brunson. I don't know if I love it, but it does look like that's what they're going with though, because we have two ball dominant scorers or players, but everybody else is just a utility around them.
Right. That's
Again,
what
I don't
it
know
is.
if it's my favorite, but you know what I'm saying? It seems like that's what we got right now.
That's what we got right now. Yeah. So let me ask you, do you believe in it?
It's not my favorite, right? Because when you look across the league, if you look at what Boston is doing, if you look at what Miami's doing without Jimmy Butler, they're swinging the ball like crazy. So it's not my favorite, and it's kind of on the smaller side of what other teams are doing. You got giants swinging the ball. If you look at Miami, they got like 6'6", 6'8" players playing like, OG. Maybe not the defensive side, but they're just swinging the ball. So it's not my favorite setup, but considering this is still Dolman's team, and we just got to deal with what we could deal with those who are here and who want to be here. It's what we got.
Right.
Also, it's under Tibbs, so Tibbs is his own style of coach. I don't know if he will swing it like the other teams are, but it is what we got, though. You know what I'm saying? It's what we got.
Right. That's what we got. But do you believe that, I guess, building it around Brunson and Randle can it win you a championship? That's what I'm asking.
No, especially when you have to consider that Jalen Brunson is not going to be he's not going to be making $24 million a year for long. That's going to change, But I think this is a conversation we should have. Not only does it look like we're building around Brunson, the player, it looks like we're building around the extended family of Leon Rose and the Villanova boys. Because the people who we're bringing in are CAA, some kind of family relation connection, or connected to Jalen Brunson. It doesn't seem like we're getting anybody outside of the family. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why, but that's what it seems like. So it's not just the player of Jalen Brunson that we're building around, but it's like a family affair. And I don't know if I trust it all the way, because then the money comes in, and then it's just, you got to look across the league, and the rest of the league is stacked.
So I guess the only thing I would say about like the whole thing with CAA and bringing in, I mean, the Knicks do, no doubt about it, right? They're bringing guys that they're familiar with or have a connection. And a lot of guys are CAA, but also CAA has a lot of guys around the league. Like a lot. You know what I mean? Yeah. They got a lot of guys around the league, so it's going to be hard for you. I can guarantee you every team in the league has a couple of CAA guys on it.
But what do you think about, like, the DeJounte Murray thing, if we connect it to this quote-unquote family affair thing? It seems like Rich Paul and Leon Rose are supposedly having conversations, or they're open to having conversations.
Right.
I don't know if that's a good thing that we have a GM or basketball operations, whatever his role is, that has quote-unquote beefs with agents. Yeah. I know it's not uncommon, but
I guess what I would say there is, if the agent doesn't do what their client wants them to do, then it's negligent. Yeah. When it's all said and done, Rich Paul works for DeJounte Murray, not the other way around.
Yeah.
So if DeJounte Murray is okay with being traded to New York, it's up to Rich Paul to make, or wants to be in New York or whatever. It's up to him to get that job done.
That's facts. What do you think about that Murray? I looked at his contract. His contract is not too bad. I just don't know what I'm willing to give up for him and how far that brings us closer to a championship. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I like DeJounte Murray. As I said before, I got, just some questions about character, although he hasn't been in trouble or anything like that. It's just some things I've read and seen him in interviews that just made me question him a little bit. But nothing's. I don't obviously no kind of inside information. I'm pretty sure Leon Rose and them guys would have that type of information. But based on just what I see from him as a player, I think he would work very, very good around these guys because he's another guy that can go get you 13 assists too, and he can shoot it and he can play defense. You know what I'm saying? And he can play off the ball.
Fact.
Yeah.
What's your skepticism with the Brunson and Randle duo being the future? You seem a little bit uncertain.
I mean, I don't know if. They're the future. There's no doubt about that, in my opinion. I guess my question just is, are they good enough to win you a championship? And I'm just not. I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I like both of them. I've been a Randle supporter, even when he had the thumbs down season.
Yeah.
I've supported Julius Randle because I think he's a heck of a basketball player. I think he's got the ability to be really, really, really good, which he's showing. It's always been mental for him. You know what I'm saying? And maybe he's still growing up and still has another level to go. We'll see. I guess my question is, I think we seen it with Brunson last year. We'll see it. Hopefully we'll see it this year. But, can Randle do this like he's doing now in the playoffs? Because that's when it matters,
no,
right?
He can't.
You know what I'm saying?
He can't. But that's not a Randle problem, though. That's a Tibbs adjustment issue. Because everything that Julius Randle was able to get away with in the regular season against, regular season defenses, he can't do in the playoffs because he dribbles the ball a lot, but he doesn't have good ball handling. And that's not a him problem when it comes to the postseason. That's up to the coach to understand how to adjust to his limitations based on, a premium defense. I've never really blamed Randle for his playoff fumbles. It's always been, hey, Tibbs, even in the regular season, he struggles in those ISO settings where he doesn't really read the double team or triple teams well, and he can't even dribble it, even if he did. You're supposed to adjust to, whatever defenses you're playing. That's why, I never, ever really blamed Randle for failing in the playoffs because I feel like he's being set up to fail in the playoffs based on the style that we already know he does.
Right. So my question would be, does OG change that? Right? Not that he's going to be
it's looking a bit better.
Well, but not that he's a shot creator, but because his basketball IQ, his ability to spread the floor, cut to the basket, it may change the way teams now defend Julius Randle.
Fair point.
Right, because now, you can kick it out to DiVincenzo. You can kick it out to Jalen Brunson. You can kick it out to OG Anunoby, who can all knock down the three. Right, and Isaiah Hartenstein doesn't always just chill out in the dunker spot, which means that center can't just float under the basket waiting for Julius Randle to get to the cup.
And Hartenstein finds space where you could do a reset. You know what I mean? So if you got to pass it to him, he may not make a shot, but he'll reset the offense for you. Yeah. You know what I mean? He'll get you readjusted.
Right. So it could be that, with the way the team is right now, it may change the way it looks in the playoffs.
Fair. I will say this, though, right? Everything y'all saying is logically absolutely accurate. Then we have to factor in Julius Randle's ego. Sometimes I saw somebody in the comments saying, "Get this guy out of here, blaming Tibbs." I'm not blaming Tibbs, right? It all still comes down to Julius Randle, but you got to know your players, right? Like we know once he starts hitting the shots, even when he's not hitting the shot, Julius Randle just wants to do Julius Randle things, and it's up to the coach to understand how to kind of limit him getting out of whack. Everything y'all said about the X and O's of the game is actually accurate, but then it goes into okay, when Julius Randle's ego kicks in, it doesn't really matter who's on the floor if he just starts doing Julius Randle things. You know what I'm saying? So let's hope he doesn't do those Julius Randle things when things are still, going right or wrong. He kind of plays within the system because he can sometimes go out of whack. And then another thing, before I leave, you mentioned the DeMar DeRozan thing. It proved tonight, if he is on this squad, even if he's coming off the bench for the next 6 months, it's not a bad idea. You know what I'm saying? Folks keep saying he's too old. I'm like, if I'm just looking for the playoff push, if I could somehow get, DeMar DeRozan and Andre Drummond for cheap for them to just kind of stack the deck for the playoffs, I won't mind it. I've also heard a lot about Malcolm Brogdon. I don't think that's a bad idea either because I'm not sure how comfortable I am with the point guard reserves. I don't want to jinx it, but we do know Coach Tibbs and his point guards, he runs them to the ground. And if I look at Jalen Brunson's support, am I comfortable going into the playoffs with McBride as my backup or whoever this Flynn kid is just brought? You know what I'm saying? So that's probably something that we should look at too. Yeah,
I definitely think we need more ball handlers out there. And what you're seeing from DeMar DeRozan today is one of the reasons, tonight is one of the reasons I think DeMar is another perfect fit for this team as currently constructed.
Yeah,
without a doubt.
All right.
Yeah, Lauren,
well,
appreciate it, man.
Before I leave, y'all remember the chat. The channel's demonetized. It's dropping bags. You know what I mean?
I appreciate you. Man. Appreciate it, brother. Thank you. No doubt. You heard him, ladies and gentlemen. You heard him. You can support the channel. Cash App is $ nothing but Knicks. PayPal is paypal.me/nothing but Knicks. And just because my voice is scratchy, don't act like you didn't hear me. Put my Cash App information in the chat. Don't act like you didn't hear me because my voice is scratchy. I know you did. And it's in the description. And it's pinned to the top of the YouTube chat.
Tusson's only $8.99. Let's get some Tusson.
Yeah. Hey Tony, what did you what you think about what he said about Julius Randle?
Man, I didn't want to respond to that part. I'm gonna just say I disagree. Obviously, and again, this is one of Josh's points continuously, and it's not. It's a true fact. We gotta see it in the playoffs, but I'm not gonna be talking about we gotta see it in the playoffs until the playoffs, right? Let's get to the playoffs and then we can have the conversation. So you know what I mean? I just think it's a moot point to continue this discussion throughout the year.
Okay.
What I wanted to say though, in an amendment of my statement, I think we are building a team around Randle and Brunson, but I think ultimately we're building a team around Tibbs, and that's why I think it will work. That's why I think I believe in it, because you're giving the guy, like everybody talks about his lack of adjustment, but when you give him the guys that he needs, that he wants, you know what I mean, then he doesn't have to adjust. He coaches the style that works for him.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And so I think we're finally giving him everything he wants. You know what I mean? We're not going to give him anything that he has to adjust to. You know what I mean? So to me, that's where I do believe in the team, and I believe in Tibbs because he's proven. Now, granted, he ain't win it all, but circumstances are also behind why he hasn't ever won it all. You know what I mean? It's not just like, oh, he was there and then his coaching decisions caused the loss. Now the only thing that I will say is fair in Tibbs criticism improving is that he does like to play his starters a dominant amount of minutes. So in the Brunson case with Deuce, I don't think he's comfortable giving Deuce a maximum more than 10 minutes a game. You know what I
Right.
mean? Not saying he won't pass 10 minutes ever, but as far as like an average, he won't average more than 10 minutes. In my opinion. You know what I mean? Until
Right.
he's more matured, more developed. So
No.
that does work. That does worry me. I think we have some adequate guys to give Randle a rest, but believe if the game looks a little shaky at any point, he's not gonna hesitate to put Randle back in the game.
No.
You know what I mean? Because he don't believe in anybody as much as Randle. You
Right.
know what I mean? So that's the thing. Tibbs believes in these guys. I believe in Tibbs. I'm rocking with it. You
Right.
know what I mean? So
Right. Listen, when Tibbs moves on to another team at some point, and Randall is 35 and Brunson is 33,
don't
that
be
man
surprised.
he is bringing Randall and Brunson with him. Right? He's gonna say, hey, come on over here to Orlando or someplace, wherever he is. And they're gonna come off the bench. You know what I'm saying? I can guarantee it. They're gonna be the new Taj Gibsons and Derrick Rose.
Yeah, they gotta be like Brunson, just retire already and coach. You know what I mean?
Exactly. That's exactly. I'm telling you, that's what's gonna happen. That's what's gonna happen. I kind of feel like I do feel like that they are like building around Brunson and Julius Randle. I mean, it's clear now, and they feel like those two guys can lead them. I also feel like they're going with the philosophy of like those Detroit Pistons teams back in the day. I think they're looking for that type. I think that's what they're trying to build. Okay, we got two guys that can go one-on-one and get you a bucket, but we're going to have 9 really, really, really strong players. And I think that's what they're looking to do.
And can I ask you this question? And just be honest. I'm not even gonna give my opinion because my opinion might be biased. I think you could give an unbiased opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Did that championship Detroit Pistons team have a better offensive weapon than Brunson or Randle?
I don't think so. I don't think they did. But they were deep.
They were.
They were deep, and they knew how to play together. You know what I'm saying? And with Chauncey Billups, Rip Hamilton, you know what I'm saying? They brought in they had Ben Wallace. They brought in Rasheed Wallace. Like they were gritty, they were hungry, but they knew how to play together. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm glad you said all of that because to me that goes hand in hand with what you said. I think that's what they're trying to build.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like now, granted, the same question I'm asking you. Yeah, there's some better offensive guys throughout the league, right? But they banking on us playing together, having a deep team. You know what I mean? Playing well, playing group defense. You know what I mean? And the philosophy with it. So I think yeah, that's just my thoughts on it. I think they believe in Tibbs and Tibbs believes in these guys.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying we done or we don't need another move, but that's what they're doing. They're not taking no chances on anything that Tibbs has to adjust to figure out.
Right. Right. I mean, listen, that's a smart way to do it, in my opinion. I was listening to Stephen A. after the game, and some of the other people that were like, well, OG is a Tibbs guy, and Stephen A. was like, that he is, but that doesn't make me feel better. He said, because when I think about Tibbs guys, I think about guys that's going to play hard, they're going to fight, they're going to battle, but they're going to lose in the end. Right? That's what he said. So, basically that's what he believes about Tibbs and his style of basketball, that they're just going to be tough, hard-nosed, gritty, and not be able to win, because a lot of times, you get players. Very rarely do you get players that excel on the offensive side and excel on the defensive side. That's pretty rare, right? So if you get defensive guys, they have some limitations offensively. Your offensive guys, they might have some limitations defensively. The guys that can do both are normally super duper stars, you know. So
But
I understand.
even those superstars that do both are rare.
Right, exactly. So I understand where he's coming from. But and I can see the offensive limitations of Tom Thibodeau. There's no doubt about it. But I do think if you get enough guys, and you have strength at all of these positions, you can give yourself a chance. You know what I'm
I
saying?
mean, there's another team out there that it sounds like you've been describing as well, and they've been to the finals 2 of the last 4 years, 3 years, Miami. But I mean, I think that's their philosophy as well. Granted, they ain't win it,
Right.
but they got to the finals
They got
with the
there.
same mindset, the same. I mean, Tibbs is from that pedigree anyway, so you know what I mean.
Yeah. We'll see. The Knicks dominated on the glass tonight behind Isaiah Hartenstein, who had 20 rebounds. The Knicks win the rebounding battle 52-39. And most of those 39 rebounds for the Bulls were from Andre Drummond. Right, 29 assists for the Knicks tonight, 24 for the Bulls. 6 steals, 7 blocks for the Knicks, 5 of them from Isaiah Hartenstein. The Knicks end up with only 15 turnovers. They had 13 in the first half, only 2 in the second half. Right, and that's why you see the score that you see now. The Knicks shot 51, just about 52% from the field, 39.5% from 3, 81.8% from the free throw line. And finally, the Knicks are shooting their free throws better. Julius Randle's been, on a pretty good, streak, knocking down his free throws. Brunson still, he'll still drop one every once in a while that I need him to get. But, overall, the Knicks have been better shooting their free throws. The Knicks dominated the paint, 54 points in the paint, 36 for Chicago, 18 second chance points for the Knicks. The Knicks 14 fast break points. There was a point in the third quarter where the Knicks, they went on a mini tear in transition. Julius Randle at the end of the whole segment of transition, he had to stop for a second to catch his breath because he had like 3 transition buckets in a row. Running the floor hard. Yeah, running the floor hard. Running hard, you know what I'm saying? But that's what you got to do, and if the Knicks are able to put together like those 3 aspects, being able to score inside, right, to like they did tonight, 54 points in the paint to Chicago's 36, being able to knock down the 3, scoring in mid-range like Julius Randle and Jalen Brunson have been doing, and scoring transition, that's tough to stop. You know what I mean? That's really, really, really tough to stop. So, I don't know. The Knicks are right now playing really, really good basketball. Really good basketball. The last 2 games since OG's been here, Jalen Brunson, 14 assists, 13 assists. How much does OG play a part of that?
I mean, I think OG plays a part. I think it's a conscious effort from Brunson as well. I really think he heard the chatter. You know what I mean?
Right.
That was the chatter after. You know what I mean? After the Halliburton game, it was like, oh, we need more. Not 20 assists, but we need more of that from Brunson. I also think that has been a direct correlation to his turnovers up. not this year, but just recently, the last
Right.
2 games.
Right.
Because he's making a conscious effort to you know, find that's a hard balance. You know what I mean? Especially in Brunson's game. You know what I mean? Because he's not passing from the perimeter.
Right.
He's passing from in the paint
Right.
more times than not. So you know what I mean, and that's his bread and butter spot. So it's like really it's a harder balance than a guy. Now granted, this is not a knock, but a guy who's passing from the perimeter because he has the size and that's like his natural element. But nah, I think OG is helping. I think he's helping the team aspect for sure because he's finding pockets, he's finding spaces, but everybody seems to be cutting more from, you know what I mean, Randle, Hartenstein, like everybody that pitch play, you know what I mean, where they just doing the finding the cutter. I've
Right.
seen it like 3 times in one sequence.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
And you know, I think it's because when RJ was there, you had to get RJ into some spots so that he could have the ball in his hands some. Right. OG just doesn't demand that type of. He doesn't need it.
it may not be a particular spot. You know what I mean?
You know?
Or it may be him finding the spot as opposed to we need to get RJ the ball here.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like to be effective. OG has multiple spots where he could be effective.
Right.
And his effectiveness is really about finishing. You know what I mean? So there's no in between. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not like you gotta get it here. Like at least with RJ, a positive. Like you give him the ball in his certain areas, you knew he was able to break down and attack. We haven't seen that from OG yet, and again, no knock. It's early, game 2. I think we'll find his sweet
Right.
spots as well. But he has multiple areas he could score from in
Right.
multiple ways.
But I think like there's Randle and Brunson have the ball in their hands more now, right? Allowing them to break down the defense. And everybody else is able to knock down a 3 or cut. Right? RJ he cut every once in a while, but it didn't seem like to be the natural instinct. And sometimes when he did cut, it was just like a walk through the lane. You know, like OG knows the perfect time to cut, when to cut. You know, and so with him having the ability to shoot the 3 and cut, I think it's opening the floor up more, and it's allowing Brunson and Randle to penetrate more. Obviously, kick the ball out to guys who's going to be able to shoot and knock it down. But it's definitely creating more space for those two guys to operate. You know, so I think that definitely makes the offense look a lot better because the floor is way more open, way more spacious. You know, which is going to lead to more assists. It's going to lead to more points from Randle and Brunson. But hopefully, at some point, it's going to lead to, you know, OG, you know, getting some touches, getting a few more touches. Because right now, and it's just been 2 games, but right now it feels like, you know, you're going to get touches when it comes to you.
And again, I think a huge part of that, because I don't know where his assists were or even if he had, you know what I mean, had any or whatever. I know he had at least one because I remember off the whatever. But my point is, when he gets the ball, it's not an automatic shot. You know what I mean? Like, and that's another part of it. You know what I mean? Like he's not hunting shots. You know what I mean? Like he's reading and reacting.
And like
literally every time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He gets the ball.
I think he processes the game quickly. So when he gets the ball in his hands, when he gets the ball, he probably already knows whether or not he has a shot or a lane. because he's processed it. He's seen it before the ball got into his hands. So he can make a quick decision when he gets the ball. So he'll get him, oh, I don't got it. Boom. You know what I'm saying? Which keeps things moving. And hopefully that's gonna happen with a couple other guys too, where they start to process it a little quicker. There were a few times though when I thought Brunson should have kicked it to OG and Randle too should have kicked it to OG, and they missed them. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully they'll start to, make that extra pass to him. To get them a little bit more into it.
I'm gonna keep an eye on that. And I won't get concerned about OG and touches until if I see him turning down shots. You know what I mean? I'll start I'll start being concerned. But I will look out for, you know what I mean, those times that he's missed. Yeah. Keep an eye on that. I think that's a good thing for us to watch out for and kind of monitor.
It is. And Greg, now my voice is coming back because, you're starting to say stuff in the chat and you're getting me excited. Greg said they're too selfish. That's not even the case. He said they're too selfish and they didn't miss shit. No, that they missed it. You know what I'm saying? They didn't make the pass. It's not that they're being selfish. It's not like, oh, no, I'm not going to pass it to OG. I'm going to take it myself. No. They missed the pass. That happens in every single game in the NBA, every single night, where a player misses an open pass. You know what I'm saying? That's just how it is sometimes, especially when you have a new player. Right, because you gotta learn. You gotta learn it.
That's right. It was the Randle and Brunson show.
It was the Randle and Brunson show tonight,
featuring Isaiah Hartenstein.
Right, and it's gonna be like that too. Where it's gonna be nights where both of them are hot, and there's gonna be a night where OG is hot.
And I don't know how you don't champion this. This is the first 30-30 game they had this year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Granted, I hope we get them, against some other teams and get the win. But yeah, champion that, man.
Yeah.
Party.
Yeah, Greg. Yeah, Greg is a Randle hater. For whatever reason, he wants to hate on Brunson a little bit too. Like, I guess he wants a team of all OG Anunobys. And they all just, pass. Nobody creates anything. They're just, this ain't 1923, Greg. People don't play like that no more. It's a different style of a game. And you got the shot clock now. So someone's got to break it down.
Couple of questions for you. One, what did you think of OG's performance defensively tonight? Because I think that's the that's the main reason we brought him in anyway.
Right.
You know what I mean? So what did you think of that? What did you think of the guys I spoke about earlier, DeRozan tonight, Caruso and Drummond?
What's the first part of the question?
OG's defense.
OG's defense. I mean, I think OG's going to play good defense every night. You know what I'm saying? Every night. And I think he's a good one-on-one as well as good team defender. Right? He helps out in the lane very well. Kind of sees plays happening before it's going to happen, so he's able to be in position. The length of his arms allows him to be in a position where he can defend the paint but still get back to his man. And even in the first half when the Bulls were making threes, a lot of them were contested by everybody, not just OG, but by everybody. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I think that, I think he's always going to play good defense.
It's just natural for him. On a late contest still seems to affect 3-point shots.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, he ain't block one, but the ground he covers is amazing.
Yeah. 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 Any key plays or key decisions?
Oh,
tonight?
yes. I wrote it down, but I don't even need my notes because I remember Tibbs' decision to challenge that out of bounds play.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which ended up in a score for us, which ended up in a 10-point lead. Which, you know what I mean, had they not challenged and they scored, they would have cut it under 8. It would have been 8 with the ball for Chicago.
Right.
So and that challenge was in the middle. I mean, not even the middle, in the beginning of that run that actually ended the game, to be honest. Like that run, I think we ended the game. They only scored 2 more points.
Mm-hmm.
So it ended up being whatever, 20-6 run or 19-6 run, whatever it ended up as. But yeah, that challenge and getting the ball back and scoring, we ended up going up 10, and you know what I mean? I think that closed out the game.
Yeah. Yeah. No doubt about it. My key play was actually a possession, not even a play. It was I think it was in the third quarter, somewhere around 6 minutes, 57 seconds, where the Knicks just kept hustling, right? They kept getting offensive rebound after offensive rebound, and it ended with an OG dunk, I believe, right? And
It
I
was
felt
2
like,
threes. I think Hartenstein kept it alive once.
yep,
I think OG kept it. OG kept it alive once. Yeah, it was about 4 possessions.
yeah, and I feel like that right there kind of, set the tone for that point of the game going forward. You know what I'm saying? And the Knicks were, they were just, they were hustling all over the place, playing the passing lanes, getting steals, and just, kind of, they just wore Chicago down after that. And I felt like that kind of jump started it right there. You know what I mean? Yeah, shout out to Seven. Thank you for the Cash App. I appreciate it. He said, Lauren from Cali, much love. That's Lauren. Appreciate you, Lauren. Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Appreciate it.
He talks it and he lives it, bro.
No doubt about it.
You know what I'm saying?
No doubt about it. You know what I'm saying? That's what you got to do. My man Ron, big shout out to you, brother. He said, yes, and that sequence showed you who these Knicks are currently. Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? It shows you who they are. And, Julius Randle is playing happier than we've ever seen him play.
Oh, my God.
Smiling all over the place, slapping the
my
floor.
God. Yo, Tibbs, too, is smiling. That's the funny part. Tibbs is smiling on the bench.
All right. I mean, let's just put it out there. Why? Why is Julius Randle the last 2 games? I mean, literally, he's been smiling more in the last 2 games than I've seen him since he's been here. Greg said it's because he can ball hog now. That's what Greg said. He said it's because he can ball hog now, dog. What is it, Tony? What is it? Is that why? Is that why?
I thought it was also interesting that when they asked him about the trade, one of the first things he said was, and you could give the same response you know what I mean, you gave me earlier, but one of the first things he said was, I've never got to play against RJ.
Yeah. Well, it was RJ and IQ.
Yes, RJ and IQ.
He said he was
IQ.
like, though I never got to play against those 2 guys. He said I played against everybody else in the league. I've never had a chance to play against those 2 guys. But then he did, support him and watching him play in Toronto too.
That's a fact.
The
little bros.
Yeah. Now, I do listen to I do listen to, some of the things that they ask him, right? And, he's like, they asked him about OG. He was like, he doesn't force shots.
Yep.
Say he's got a high IQ, always making the right play. You know what I mean? Always playing defense, boom, 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 all of those things. And obviously, people are always going to look at it and say, oh, so are you saying RJ didn't do that? You know what I mean?
And RJ's made
And-
some remarks after his win in Toronto. So you know what I mean? Like I think it's they just being genuine.
It's just being right. I mean, it is what it is. OG's a better fit, and now RJ could be in a place where he can have the ball in his hands a little bit more. You know what I mean? And things can be kind of centered around. I don't want to say centered around him because you got Scotty Barnes there, but you're playing with someone who's your age. You don't feel like I gotta listen to you, this and that. So it could be a good spot for RJ. I don't know what he did tonight.
It was a RJ game, but they won.
Okay, all right.
And it was an inefficient game, but they won. Quickly had a good game.
Yeah, quickly. I think it's gonna excel over there. He's gonna do his thing, no doubt about it. I think OG also raises the. I don't want to say it this way because I don't want to make it sound like RJ and IQ weren't professional, because they were. But I feel like he raises the professionalism of the team. Not that they weren't professional, but I think he just has a little bit more composure about him. Let me say that.
And a lot of that comes with the fact that he's not a bucket seeker.
That's true.
You know what I mean? So even his game is it's not like he can't get buckets, but he'll get them when he get them. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of who he's been. Not saying he don't want to go out there and try to create his own, because you know what I mean. The talk was he does want a bigger role, and that's another reason why I think he will get acclimated more as time goes on. Because if that's, you know what I mean, if that was the talks of why he kind of wanted out of Toronto, I'm sure they're gonna try to acquiesce here.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna take Tom Thibodeau, figuring out what's the best, what's the best way to get him more touches, extend his role, make his role bigger.
I'll say we'll see the best OG after All-Star break.
I agree with that.
I'll say that.
I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. But OG is, very composed, very serious. You don't see him smile, you don't see him frown. You know what I mean? He's just OG.
Oh, I got a question for you. How much of his championship experience is gonna help us, whether it's down the stretch of the season or, once we get in the playoffs?
I guess it depends. I think some of that is going to depend on how much he talks in the locker room, because he can have all this experience, but if he doesn't share certain things, you know what I mean? Right now, he doesn't strike me as the kind of guy that says a lot in the locker room, but maybe he does. Who knows?
And how much the guys pick his brain too,
and
how much they
ask,
you know what I mean, and inquire.
Exactly.
I've been watching a bunch of different shorts and they just been on my feed. So one of them was I think it was Theo Penson's podcast. But either way, wherever it's one, from Donovan Mitchell quoting him as a top 5 defender and one of his toughest matchups in the league. But another one was some guys talking about how people don't know how funny OG is, and that some of his persona is, he didn't say troll, but that's kind of like the if I was trying to paraphrase, like basically he be trolling
Right.
in some of his demeanor and persona of being kind of dry.
Okay. Right.
So I just thought that was interesting.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Because we spoke on kind of his dry personality, but it might be a front. From what I'm hearing, it might be a front.
Yeah. I don't know. It just seemed, maybe. But even in his interviews, it's not even like a sarcastic dryness. It's just, okay, let me just give you the answer and move on from there. You know what I mean? But either way, he's a positive for this basketball team. There's no doubt about it. And so far, it looks really good. It looks really good so far. The way the ball's been moving, and all of those things. We'll see what happens when defenses begin to clamp down, stuff. And all of that stuff. But I'm liking it. There was another question you had that I didn't get to because we kind of, stepped off from the OG's defense about DeMar DeRozan and Alex Caruso. First of all, what we're seeing from DeMar tonight is one of the reasons why I think he'd fit perfectly with this basketball team.
Oh my God.
He's an unselfish player. He can play. Listen, playing with this team right now, he had 13 attempts tonight. 13 shot attempts. He had 28 points. Right, he was 10 for 13. He won't always be 10 for 13, but playing with this team, he can get 13 shot attempts playing with this basketball team every night. And if he's going to shoot 48 to 50% from the field, he'll get 15 to 20 points a game. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Dante DiVincenzo had 10 shot attempts tonight. Right, and the Knicks, they took 89 shot attempts tonight. The Bulls also took 89. But he can get 13 shot attempts playing every night playing with this basketball team, while OG still gets his 9 to 11 shot attempts. But
And what was he, 3 for 3 from 3 tonight?
Who? DeMar?
DeRozan.
3 for 4.
3 for 4.
3 for 4.
Like, just for all those people who, he can't shoot. He can shoot. That's just not his sweet spot.
Right.
But if he got to pull it up, or if you lacking on the defense and going under screens or whatever the case, he will pull up.
Yeah. So I would happily bring DeMar DeRozan to this team. Let him start at your small forward, shooting guard, whatever you want to call it, and let DiVincenzo go back to the bench and be the guy on the bench.
And did you see him? I mean, I knew he this is what he does, but he's capable of running the point in the second unit.
Yes,
if need be, you know what I mean,
Right.
and directing that second unit, which could give Brunson more than 7 minutes of a break.
Yep. DeMar DeRozan tonight, he had 28 points on very efficient shooting. He shot just about 77% from the field. Kobe White had 26 points tonight, one big nasty dunk. Andre Drummond had 13 points, 16 rebounds. Alex Caruso had 13 points. Patrick Williams only 5 points tonight. But DeMar DeRozan did his thing like he normally does. And as far as Alex Caruso, though, I think Tom Thibodeau would love Alex Caruso as another guard because he's just an aggressive defender. He's has a high basketball IQ. He's feisty. He would fit perfect with this basketball team. I don't know what his money is like or anything like that, but he'd fit perfect here.
And another guy that could give Brunson more than 7 minutes.
That's true.
Of rest time.
Right. As far as Andre Drummond, He's a great rebounder, but offensively, you know, you know, he's gonna be like Mitch. Everything's off of putbacks and stuff like that.
The fact that Hartenstein had the game that he had today against Drummond
Yeah,
made me look a little bit different about Drummond.
yeah,
But I will say, what Drummond is gonna give you for $3 million, you're not gonna find anywhere else. You know
right,
what I mean? So it's really about the asking price. Like what do you gotta actually give up for him? But
right.
the monetary $3 million, you're not gonna find that nowhere.
Yeah, I mean, but listen, if he were to come to the Knicks, he's got to shave that mustache because he looks like a cowboy. He looks like a cowboy. All he got to do is throw on a cowboy hat and move to Texas. He looks like a cowboy. You know, that's a different dude. He's another one of those different cats, man. He looked like a cowboy tonight, though. I don't know what it is. I wasn't impressed with him, though. As a matter of fact, when I was watching, I was watching him blow layups and stuff, I was like, yeah, maybe we made the right move, by not making a move. And I'm pretty sure they had an inkling that this was going to happen anyway, and that Precious was going to end up a Knick. What is your thoughts on Precious so far at the 2 games?
I liked his activity tonight on the defensive end. He had a couple of nice switches and you know what I mean, nice defensive presence. I think he's gonna probably take a little bit longer to find himself within this team.
Right.
Obviously a guy that probably is not gonna get a single play ran for him, which I also think is gonna be a reason that it takes a little bit longer. But attributes wise and what he's capable of doing, I think he's gonna be an asset for us. You know what I mean? Like he's another guy that I think on ball defense is gonna come in handy at times. Whether it's against the second unit guy or against a starter in this league that he has to defend. And he gives us a extra boost of size. So I'm saying I could see a stretch where we have OG and him on the floor for defensive purposes, and we figure out a niche for him.
Yeah, I think he's gonna have to figure some things out offensively. Listen, OG, it's easy for him. Stand in the corner and shoot it when it comes to you. I think Precious maybe has a little bit, a few more things that he has to do as far as setting screens and those type of things. So him knowing the plays or sets, it's a little bit different than OG and what OG has to do. He's got to make sure he can catch, and not have stone hands and stuff like that. But he's definitely going to give the Knicks something, I think. I think he'll give the Knicks something. I think the fact that he can guard several positions will help at points during the season because he can guard probably from a 1 to a 4. Well, obviously a 1 to a 5. He is a small 5, though. You know what I mean? Julius Randle and Precious were on the floor together tonight. I don't know how long together, but they were on the floor together. And they, Precious is 6'8", 6'9" from the 5 spot. Julius Randle 6'8" from the 4 spot. So that's not that big.
No, it's not.
That's not that big. You know what I mean?
The good thing though is it's not like the experiment of him at the 5 is starting here, right?
Right.
You know what I mean? So he's used to relying on his energy, relying on his athleticism, relying on, you know what I mean? Like not having plays ran for him. So he's used to being that kind of energy guy. Like so for the most part, it's do what you do until you figure out these plays, these sets, these, you know what I mean? These things. So I think, like I said, it's going to take him a little bit longer. But for the most part, even once he learns that stuff, it's really gonna be about his energy. You know what I mean? His defense,
Yeah.
not making mistakes. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? It's gonna be those little things that will either get him on the floor or keep him on the floor.
Right. Now, I'm just wondering if we're too small at that center spot right now off the bench with Precious.
I mean, I still agree with that. He's best suited as a backup four.
Yeah.
He's best suited there.
Yeah. Because, it's pretty small.
But I mean, given Julius at the 5, you know what I mean? At times, I think that's where, I mean, we may be able to. I know Julius is undersized, obviously, but I mean, we've been clamoring for some small ball lineup in increments, right?
Right.
So I think maybe Randle at the 5 is the more solidified threat. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, on the offensive side, Randle could play the 5, but on the defensive side, they're probably gonna have Precious playing defending the centers.
Yeah.
know?
And depending on who the center is,
Right.
Because I'm assuming these are gonna be backup minutes that Randle's at the 5.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
I mean, and he only played like 11 minutes tonight, and that's probably gonna be his the number for him around that. He played 11 minutes and 25 seconds. So I'm not expecting that he's gonna play crazy minutes anyway. As a matter of fact, the entire bench, the only person over 20 minutes on the bench is Josh Hart. Quentin Grimes is at 18.
and I think that's his number 2.
Yeah.
I think that's his number. Remember, it was down to 11 with Quickly here.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And Quickly was under 25. I wasn't expecting him to get the full 25. That, you know what I mean? So
Right. Brunson played 38. Randle played 38. Hartenstein 36. OG played 34. And, it was a blowout at the end. So, like the last 3 minutes, guys were coming out the game. You know what I mean? I mean, I think Randle and Brunson, they're going to be looking at close to 40 minutes every night.
yeah, they didn't come out until 1 minute left. 1 minute and 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Randle and Brunson.
Every single night, they're going to be looking at, those type of minutes.
What do you think would be more important if we could only do one right now? And I'm not saying that's the case, but if we could only do one right now, shore up the 2 spot or give us bench depth. Now, granted, one move might do that in general anyway. You know what I mean? Moving DiVincenzo back to the bench might give us the bench depth. But if you could only do one, and I'm not saying the player, but if there was only one hole you could fill, would it be the bench depth or
it would be that shooting guard spot? Because like you said,
starting shooting guard spot.
Because I think if you bring in like DeMar DeRozan, you probably add to the bench because you're putting Dante back on the bench. So I think that takes care of both of them. Your player of the game tonight?
I'm going with Randle back to back. Back to back.
I mean, Randle was balling. I mean, he was balling.
Now, granted, I love Brunson's game tonight. You know what I mean? Because he bounced back offensively and still had 13 assists. You know what I mean? So one shy of his career night the other night on a assist night. But I gotta go with Randle. It was tough though.
I'm going with iHeart.
I
mean, from the beginning of the game, who was it? I don't remember who it was. Kobe White, maybe? I don't know. Whoever it was. Penetrated down the lane, was looking for a dunk, first play of the game, and Isaiah Hartenstein blocks it. Set the tone for the night for Hartenstein. You know what I'm saying? And for the Bulls to know, like, no, you're not getting nothing at the rim. You know what I mean? Set the tone, grabbed 20 rebounds tonight, 5 blocks overall, 10 points. Yeah, that's my player of the game tonight.
I ain't mad at it, son.
That's my
He
player of
had
the game.
he had a career night and 2 stats. You know what I mean? Blocks and rebounds.
Yeah, you know what I mean. iHeart is damn. You always talk about him playing himself out of a contract. Well, off the team, not out of a contract, off the team. How much is iHeart gonna be worth?
At least what Mitch get.
Okay.
I felt like he was worth that. He was worth Mitch money when he was on the second unit, to be honest. And I felt like Tibbs felt that way too, saying all the time, yo, it's a tough decision. I gotta find more minutes for Hartenstein. Mitch is playing well though. You're like, you know what I mean? Like, so the fact that he's gonna get these extended minutes for an extended stretch, he's just building leverage game by game.
Yeah. Yeah, it's no doubt
And I
about
think
that.
the only positive that we could take from this is the further we go, you know what I mean? Maybe he want to do it again. Maybe he want to double back. Like, but we can't lowball him. I'll tell you that, because the market he's gonna be highly coveted.
Yeah, he is. He
If-
is. And like quickly, he keeps continuing. If he keeps doing what he's doing, he's gonna say, I want to be a starter.
Mhm.
I want to start. You know what I'm saying? I love Mitch. He'll say, I love Mitch. I love this basketball team. I love New York City. But I also want to start.
And their numbers weren't too far apart when Mitch was here. You know what I
Right.
mean? So the numbers are gonna increase. Like his numbers are gonna look better than Mitch by the end of the year,
Yeah.
without them splitting them, because they weren't that far behind from a day-to-day standpoint.
Yeah. Yeah, that's gonna be interesting, man. But yeah, iHeart is my player of the game. Shout out to Walter White. He said can't handle Randle. And I'm actually taking that as other defenses can't handle Randle. That's what I'm taking that as.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
That's, can't handle Randle. They can't handle Randle. And right now they can't. He's playing like I'm sorry, folks, for those who don't like it, Greg. He's playing like one of the best players in the league. Playing like one of the top players in the NBA.
that's right. Speaking of which, if you didn't vote, well, it's a new day, so go
Yeah.
vote
Yep.
for our Knicks in the All-Star game
That's it.
every day.
That's it. Go vote for that man. Greg, go vote for him. I should put in a vote for Greg. I don't know how to do that for Julius Randle and Brunson. Big shot. Oh, I just said, yeah. Thank you, Walter. I appreciate you, my brother. Thank you. Definitely appreciate it. The Knicks play the 76ers on Friday. So now here's a test, right?
Another one.
Big test for the Knicks. 76ers are 23-10 right now, and they are currently the third best team in the Eastern Conference. They've won 7 of their last 10 games. They're just playing shaky start to begin the season, but they've been playing great basketball since. How do you feel about this matchup?
I think it's another another test, another big test. Philly is they on a mission. You know what I mean? They know where what their season and their future was looking like come the beginning of the year. You know what I mean? They got rid of the noise, they got rid of the chatter once they made the trade. So they on a and they hit the ground running this year. Probably not getting the respect they feel they deserve. You know what I mean? Not getting mentioned amongst the elite of the East,
Right.
let alone the league. And Embiid is by far having a better year than he's ever had, coming off of winning MVP. like Embiid is on a mission himself individually, let alone collectively as a team. Maxey also having his breakout year as well.
Right.
It's gonna be tough for sure. We're gonna need. I mean, this might be the one where we need more from OG. You know what I mean? Because I don't know if Randle and Brunson alone, even if they duplicate tonight's performance and both give us 30, we still might need a 20 piece from OG.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So true test.
Yeah.
Looking forward
It's a true
to
test. It's a true test. You know what I mean? See how well, now we really get a chance to see what OG's defense mean and what his shooting means to this team. Yeah, without a doubt. But ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get out of here and meet us over in the Losers Lounge in about 10 minutes. All right? Meet us there. Then after the Losers Lounge, I'm going to go rest my voice. You can hear it coming back a little bit. I'm going to go rest my voice so that hopefully tomorrow, to be back in full effect. But if you can, support the channel. Cash App is $ nothing but Knicks. PayPal is paypal.me/nothing but Knicks. Nothing but Knicks. I appreciate all of your time, all of your support, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm going to get up out of here. Tony, any last words before we go to the Losers Lounge?
And I'm just happy to get this Losers Lounge, man. Happy the voice is good. Happy the Knicks won.
Yeah.
We got a day off in between games, so you know what I mean. We could get some more practice in. We still at home, or we on the road for this?
Let me see. I'm not sure.
I think we got one road game in the mix of this homestand. But even still, man, if it's in Philly, that's what, about a couple hour drive, 2 hour drive.
Let me see. Friday, it's in Philly, right? Because they're on their way. Because they're in Philly, and then they play in D.C. on Saturday. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, let's take care of this road game. It's not too far. You know what I mean? You can go right back home.
Right.
And then go to Washington if you have. Oh no, it's back to back.
Back to back. Back to back.
All right. Yeah. Let's take care of business. Let's do it early.
No doubt.
You know what I mean? So we can rest some guys and prepare for the next night.
No doubt.
But yeah, let's get this one.
Yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're heading over to the Losers Lounge. Appreciate your time, folks. We out. Peace.
This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Post-game reviews, this the place you tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.